Hello my friends, in this video I'm going to be talking about whether motorbikes are cheaper than cars to own, and also why it's not always as it seems when owning a bike. Now, to compare the costs of ownership for a bike and a car, I've taken two run-of-the-mill vehicles. For the bike I've taken the Yamaha MT-07, and for the car I've taken the Ford Fiesta Trend 1.1. The cost of a brand new MT-07 as of today is currently £7,510 on the road, and the cost of the Fiesta is £19,350. To look at the total depreciation for the car and the bike over 3 years, I've looked on Auto Trader. I've taken the first three results, summed them up and averaged them out to get the value of the bike and the car after 3 years of ownership. Looking at depreciation on the bike after 3 years, you're looking at about £1,580, and for the Fiesta you're looking at £8,022. Next up, I compared insurance, and this is a bit of a difficult one, but according to Compare the Market figures for June 2023, 51% of customers were quoted less than £743 for fully comprehensive car insurance, and 51% of customers were quoted less than £480 for bike insurance. Next up is road tax. For the MT-07 you're looking at £111 a year, and for the Fiesta you're looking at £180 per year. Now, interestingly, both the car and the bike had fuel efficiency figures of 51 miles per gallon. In reality, I would expect the MT-07 to do better than 51 miles per gallon, and the Fiesta probably worse. But I'm going to run with those figures, and so I'm not going to include fuel costs in the totals. Now, it's only fair to factor in that to ride a bike you're going to need some gear, which you're not going to need in a car. I've set a modest budget of £1,000 to get the gear you need to ride safely. And finally, I have to talk about servicing. According to MCN, the average cost of servicing for the MT-07 is £160 a year, and according to Whatcar, servicing from the Fiesta is around about £169 a year. Now, as previously mentioned, I've left out fuel costs from the total cost of ownership for the car and the bike. I've also left out the cost of tyres, but you can expect to have to replace the tyres on a bike more often than you are than a car. It's important not to be cheap when it comes to rubber, as it's your only point of contact with the road. Now, adding this all together, the total cost of ownership for the Fiesta over 3 years is £9,259, and the total cost of ownership for the MT-07 is £4,832. That's 51% the cost of the car. And now for the but, and unless you're very sensible and level-headed, this can be quite a big but. Cars are just generally treated as part of everyday life, and they're not changed as frequently. Bikes, on the other hand, are more often hobbies, and with hobbies comes expense. Obviously, if you choose to have a car as a hobby, the costs again are going to be much less than the cost of ownership on a bike. But for those on two wheels, you're probably going to require different gear for the different seasons. You're not going to get away with wearing your summer gear in winter and vice versa. And riding gear can be just as addictive as riding itself. You're going to want different gear for different weather, different riding styles, and just because you want to mix it up a bit. You're likely to have at least 2 or 3 pairs of gloves, multiple helmets, different jackets, leather jackets, textile jackets, summer jackets, winter jackets. You might have riding jeans, leather trousers, one-piece suits, two-piece suits, and whatever the local bike store can sell you. There's also the never-ending list of modifications you're going to want to perform to your bike. You could be spending anywhere between £350 and £1,500 on a slip-on or full exhaust system. You'll probably want to get that Euro 5 bike map so that it rides better and gives you a little bit more performance. You may want to drop money on carbon parts or protection, and you'll probably want to change the mirrors and add factory upgrades. The list goes on and on. This soon adds up and rapidly diminishes that 50% lead that the ownership of bikes has over cars. And because bikes are a hobby, you'll probably chop them in well within 3 years for something more powerful or something more comfortable for any reason you can possibly imagine, just to justify getting yourself on a new bike. At that point, you're going to take a hit on depreciation, and then the never-ending cycle of modifications begins all over again. Of course, many of you out there will be a lot more sensible than I am, and I salute you. The cost of riding is going to be a lot cheaper if you can be sensible. Anyway, I guess on the surface, bikes are generally cheaper than owning a car, but don't be fooled into thinking that the costs are straightforward and there isn't a whole world of hidden upgrades, wants and needs that come with the hobby of riding a motorcycle. Please leave a comment below if you think riding is cheaper than a car, or whether in fact you think it's more expensive. And with that, I thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.